So real work of the Theosophical Society, as it is said by N. Sri Ram, we are going to study in this conference, going to deal on this small pamphlet. So our ideal is to become real human beings. We are not real. We are not honest. To become honest, it has to be in the blood. Honesty needs to be in the blood, and it won't come immediately. So by merely the rule of the survival of the fittest, we cannot become real human being. So the rule to become a real human being is service and sacrifice. Service of humanity, human values, and sacrifice of our whole personality, which is the tool of the soul. That is what our international president Tim Boyd said. These tools of our souls need to be tuned, and the divine seed need to be nurtured. Then only we can become real human being. So there is a gap between human being and being human. So that being within need to be expressed daily, but it is very difficult to inculcate that. I would like to give you one experiment which the scientists they did with the ants. We know we all are, as the secret doctrine says, human species born on this earth, but the ants and bees are not belonging to this earth. That is what secret doctrine says. That means ants and bees, they have something special to teach us. Something special to teach us. And scientists are interested to study and observe the behaviors of the ants and learn lessons from those experiments. It is an interesting experiment they did. What they did, they kept in a jar, glass jar, 100 large red ants and 100 large black ants. And in the beginning, in the initial stage, first nothing happened. They lived silently without any conflict. They lived happily, and no struggle was there between black ants and red ants. Observing this, scientists, what they did, they violently, jar was shaken. The jar which was full with 100 black ants and 100 red ants was violently shaken, and after shaking, they dumped all the ants on the ground. And you know what happened? After this experiment, the black ants and red ants started fighting to each other. The war started between black and white. The thing is, the red ants thinks that the black ants are the enemy, and vice versa. Black ants thinks white ants are enemy. But who is the real culprit? The real enemy, real culprit is the person, is the scientist who shook that jar. This is exactly what happens on our globe now. We all are shook by the corona pandemic situation. We don't know who is doing this experiment. and why he is doing experiment. Whether we have to fight each other, whether we have to understand each other, that is our choice. This is exactly what happening on our globe now. The corona pandemic, COVID-19 is shaking us. It is frightened us. And naturally there is either fight between black and white or liberty, conservative. So this is what we are seeing, the fightings. Even now, black and white fighting is there. So let me express what the scientists, they did the experiment. He is the David Sukuji. He says, what ancient wisdom of our planet refers as the Mother Earth is not a romantic or poetic or metaphysical idea, but modern science is proving that we are of the earth. Every cell in our body, as we know, is formed of molecules that are derived from the lower kingdoms. Plants, animals all are full of water. They are inflated by water. So elemental kingdom, water is helping plants, animals. 80% water is there in each and every cell. And each and every cell is energized by the sunlight, captured through photosynthesis, and also ignited by the atmospheric oxygen. In this sense, we are definitely the children of Mother Earth, getting oxygen, getting water, getting sunlight by the grace of Mother Earth below, and the sun, you may call Father, Son above. But because of evil within us, we are not recognizing this fact. So it is essential to know the fact that both good and evil, they coexist. And because of evil, we are destroying natural sources. This is not a new thought, but it don't go deeply into our consciousness. That is why repeatedly we have to, we can say repeatedly we have to remember ourselves. That is both good and evil, not only affecting oneself, but also it is affecting the collective consciousness. And as it is affecting in collective consciousness, it comes in the community, it comes in the religious organization, it comes in the nations also, black and white, they fight, and all in the world it spreads. And to remind this fact, we really, in our Indian tradition, we celebrate the festival Navaratri. And we invoke the World Mother, that we celebrate also to remind this fact and how World Mother protects us. Of course, we invoke her grace, invoke her guidance and protection, because it is the Mother Earth who has given birth to us. And we in Indian tradition really bow in homage and adoration to the World Mother. And we celebrate 9 nights, Navaratri festival. And we worship to set victory over negative thoughts. So positive need to be victory on the negative thoughts. And we celebrate first 3 nights worshipping Mother Durga, which is nothing but the destructive aspects of mother. Then second 3 nights, we worship Lakshmi, which is the creative aspect of the mother. And the last 3 nights, we worship Saraswati for the wisdom that is true and not the wisdom that is not true, or it is not the knowledge, but it is definitely the wisdom. So it is this in Theosophy we have to remember. The festival, no doubt, is a reminder for us to awaken the spirituality and goodness. That is nothing but to polish our mirror of mind and to make that goodness our living power by starting reforming ourselves. So the ideal work that we have to do with ourselves is that to be the change that we want to see in the world. Be yourself the change what you are wanted to bring in the world. We want to see human regeneration through the foundation of the Universal Brotherhood. So let us be that nucleus of the Universal Brotherhood individually and also collectively in our lodges, federations, sections, and even international headquarters. It is nothing to bring, it is to bring new world order in other sense. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is new world order, which is a fact. We have to bring it back. It is this Theosophy has ideal, and it gives the first object to form the nucleus of an Universal Brotherhood. And this, our international president, N. Sri Ram, the former president, N. Sri Ram, refers it as the, what is this nucleus? He refers it as the dimensionless point. It is a point which has got no dimension. Of course, point is defined like that. So N. Sri Ram refers this nucleus as the dimensionless point. And that is the truth. Extends from the center to periphery. Center is our inner being. And this inner being, N. Sri Ram says, commands all horizons at all the levels. And that center, that nucleus is, rather it has got no dimensions, like geometrical point of view. And he says, this is the knower, is the center, and that which is to be known is expansion all side. And he says, that point of pure knowing is buddhi, which is distinct from the intellect. That is what in the beginning I said, wisdom that is true. This is what the N. Sri Ram explains. You are going to study that book. So this buddhi, we refer as the intuition that unites. That is the true wisdom. And the wisdom which is not true, that is intellect that divides. And wisdom is heaven born, the soul born. That is what we have to remember. That is what our mission is, to understand the teachings of ancient wisdom or eternal wisdom, and realizing the oneness of life through our own spiritual self-transformation. We read Vedanta, ancient wisdom, you go deep into the Vedanta, and our motto is also no religion is higher than truth. which also mentions, it is our ideal, which is also in the eternal wisdom in Vedanta, Ekam Sat Vipra Bhuda Vadanti. Ekam Sat Vipra Bhuda Vadanti. Reality is one. Wise call it by many names. Again, we are, remember here, who calls it by many names? One who is really wise. One who is really wise. One who is wise, intuitively he reveals truth, some aspect of the truth, and therefore he gets attached to that truth. We are not denying that truth. When we are studying ancient wisdom, we are not denying the Vedanta. You know, Shankaracharya is wise, Ramanuja is wise, Madhvacharya is wise. So wisdom that is true is really revealed. One of the aspect is revealed. Ekam satta vipra bhuda vadanti. And Shankaracharya says the philosophy of Advaita, oneness of life, which theosophy has this ideal. And Shankaracharya says, I am one with the Supreme. In one sentence, what Shankaracharya says, we can say, I am one with the Supreme. Whereas Ramanuja, little bit different revelation for him, and he says, I am part of the Supreme. I am not one with the Supreme, but I am part of the Supreme. And beyond this, there is also Dvaita, duality theory, which is revealed to the Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya says, I am different from the Supreme. And a theosophy is the synthesis of all this. And you know, root races after root races, human mind is developed. And it has come to this stage of synthesis. And we must synthesize what the ancient wisdom said. That is what our international president Tim Boyd in his study class said. This is what it is really needed to tune our personality. Otherwise, I see I am different from the Supreme. HPB say, heresy of separation. So I am different from the Supreme. If I identified with this, perhaps I can't take the quantum gem in the real truth. The part of it I have seen. It is true. I am a revealer like this. But I am part of the Supreme, Ramanuja says, and Advaita says, I am one with the Supreme. So this is how even Krishnamurti spoke about totality of truth. So science says man is insignificant. When science studies the matter and he knows the limitations of the matter, and the whole body is made up of matter, mind is also the matter, and what I think, thoughts are also the matter, then in this sense, one which is limited, it is insignificant. When we compare it with the one which is infinite. So in that sense, science says man is insignificant. When he looks to the universe, as compared to the universe, man is just a spark, insignificant. And religion says, even if it is a spark, it has got the capacity to reveal. It has got capacity to know the truth. So the religion says man is significant. And then theosophy says, this is our ideal. Theosophy says, which synthesizes, man is both insignificant as well as significant. So we have an ideal before us and believe that no religion is higher than truth. So what is our religion? What is our dharma? Our dharma is Manavata Dharma, and we work for human progression and perfection. For this, nurturing the divine seed is essential, and we have to feed the soul with meditation. So daily meditation is essential. Meditation to be aware the real work of the TS, which is said by N. Sri Ram, a small booklet. I know you have selected to discuss at your annual conference this year. In the beginning, N. Sri Ram quotes Mahatma letter, and he puts before us what the Mahatma makes us clear, saying that the TS is not founded to teach people to be good or not to rob, not to murder, not to deceive. No, it is not founded for this purpose, only to teach the people to be good, not to rob, murder, deceive, so on and so forth. It is not for this purpose. Mahatma writes in his letter. And further he says it is also not founded. It is not meant to be just a school of occultism. But further Mahatma says, we have not permitted to make it theosophy, to make it academic magic or hall of occultism. Further, he uses a harsh word. Mahatma uses harsh word. If it is becoming a academic school of magic, if it is becoming a hall of occultism, if it is becoming a school of occultism, then it is better. It is better to perish. Rather perish the TS with both of its hapless founders. These are the terms used by the Mahatma. Very important, very pinching to us. So our ideal before us is to not to make it school of occultism, not to make it a school of academic magic, and not to school hall of occultism also. It is really a hall of learning where we have to learn, make our mind a learning mind, make our mind free from all kinds of untrue wisdom, wisdom that is not true. So it is known, freedom from the known. That is what Krishnamurti pointed us. So these words must always ring in our ears so that we as workers of the TS remember not to make TS as amusing forum or just to make a group to meet our intellectual curiosity. But let us remember the Theosophical Society is founded with a noble purpose of spiritual regeneration of man. How? With individual regeneration, there is possibility of human regeneration as well. And now we know human consciousness is a common field in which we either add positive thoughts or we add evil feelings, bad feelings or good feelings continuously. We are polluting this common field of human species. So if we bear this in mind, then we can find out our line of activity to concentrate on our 5 ideals. Actually, I sent some projections, but I will repeat it here. we have 5 ideals. The first ideal is to serve humanity. Second ideal is to believe in the perfected human beings. The third ideal is to form the nucleus of universal brotherhood. And fourth ideal is to respect knowledge, that is synthesis of science, religion and philosophy, comparative religion and philosophy. And this is what we have to be very careful what we are studying, and we are real seekers of the truth. So the third object of the Theosophical Society is the ideal, to know our own potentiality, to investigate the unexplained laws of nature. All these are ideals. It is not that we don't have ideals. So when we think of real work of the Theosophical Society, we must know these ideals, and ideals has to be lived. If they are not lived, they become idle. That is what Annie Besant told to us. H.P. Blavatsky gave us these 5 ideals we know. She also gave us programmers like mission. She gave us what real work of the Theosophical Society. The 5 programs she gave, she asked us to study Theosophy, because Theosophy is for those who think. So think deeply, study Theosophy. You will be given help to understand. So study Theosophy, and if you know Theosophy, let others know, especially teach the young. That is the first program she gave. So our first ideal needs to be study. And after studying, after knowing, let others know. Then only that study will be helpful. It will be like a rendering service to the humanity. Second program she gave, don't miss opportunity. Of course, when you join the Theosophical Society, there are opportunities. Don't miss the opportunity. Don't say no to explain others. Somebody asked you about what is Theosophy, what you are doing, how these lodges are working. If somebody curiously asking you, then don't miss that opportunity. That opportunity is really a test of your membership. So in this sense, don't miss the opportunity. Thirdly, circulate the literature. There is literature. In Carnatic Federation, a lot of literature is there. You have to circulate it. Create interest in the others to study. So the third program she gave, circulate the literature. And fourth she gave, explain definitely what Theosophy is and what Theosophy is not. That is what very passionately you must explain. Don't shy to explain. You boldly say what is Theosophy and what is not Theosophy. And lastly, she said, make Theosophy a living power by being example. So these 5-point program given by the H.P. Blavatsky, these are really to remember always, and this makes us real work of the ideal. Now, I say we are very much concerned with the meditations. We say about the meditations. We want to gather people and make them meditate, and people are very eager to meditate. They think that by meditation we can really raise our consciousness. And what meditation Theosophy must tell, that meditation is to be really aware of our thought, aware of our feelings, aware of our behavior. And for this awareness, body must be energetic, enthusiastic, sensitive. Mind must be free from the knowledge that is not true. And it is only then the soul which is entangled in this condition of the mind, in this impurity of the body, then only the soul can become free. So the question I put before Tim Boyd's lecture, that body needs energy in this sense, and mind needs freedom from the knowledge that is not true. And it is only then what we speak about the liberation of soul, which is attached, which is identified with its tools, with its ideas, with its concept. And if you are really concentrating on such things, whether you are eating or traveling, if your mind is, if your heart is contemplating all these ideals, I think that will be the best meditation in our life. And that won't happen immediately. Tim Boyd once said, very nice sentence that penetrated in my mind. To attain the effortless effort state. See, to attain the effortless effort state, you have to do a lot of efforts. To attain the effortless state, you have to do a lot of efforts. It seems to be paradoxical. But Krishnamurti also once said, very hard task we have undertaken. To meditate is a hard task, and we have undertaken. And seeing this, once he gave an example of silent retreat. Retreat is to in tune, to become introvert. And he said, silent retreat. He never gives jokes, but as a joke he said, there were 4 monks, Buddhist or any monks, sannyasi we can say. So 4 monks decided to meditate silently without speaking for 2 weeks. Of course, they were not closing their eyes. The eyes were half opened, and they started meditating. They resolved to meditate for 2 weeks. They began with enthusiasm. They really silent. No one said a word for the whole day, 24 hours. But by the nightfall of the first day, one monk saw the candle began to flicker. It began to flicker and finally it went out. The candle began to flicker and finally it went out. That is what he saw while meditating. Looking at it, immediately he uttered the word, "Oh no, the candle is out. Oh no, the candle is out." Listening this, the second monk said, "Hey, we are not supposed to speak. Hey, we are not supposed to speak." And listening to this, the third monk said in an irritated voice, "What is this? Why did you two break the silence?" And the fourth monk smiled and said, "Wow, I am the only one who has not spoken." So these are the 4 types of meditation, he said. Krishnamurti said this. How do you reflect on this is very important. To learn lesson, we must contemplate and reflect. Reflection is the best faculty in human being. That is our ideal. Whatever you listen it carefully, reflect upon it, concentrate upon it, then only the lesson will be revealed. So self-observation, reflection are very important to learn the lessons. One way of reflection may be like this, to look upon this event of meditation of 4 monks. As I said, each monk broke the silence for different reasons. For each of them is a stumbling block in their inner journey. What are those stumbling blocks? The first monk saw the flickering of the candle, that is distraction. Distraction is the stumbling block. Second one, we are very eager to judge. So judgment is the stumbling block for the second. Third one, anger. He became angry because the silence was broken. And fourth one, stumbling block is pride. Look this, distraction, judgment, anger, and pride. These 4 things distract our meditation. So the first monk got distracted by one aspect of his experience, the candle, and forgot what was more important to him. The second monk was more worried about others following the rules than in actually practicing himself. And the third monk let his anger towards the first 2 monks affect him. And the fourth monk lost his way because of pride. So the first is distraction, second is worry of following the rules, third is the anger, and fourth is the pride. All these are stumbling blocks, not only for the meditation, but also for whole to form the nucleus of universal brotherhood or our personal ideals. So really, why did the fourth monk speak at all? This is very important. Why did the fourth monk speak at all? He could have simply maintained his silence. He would have been successful in his endeavor. But actually, he had a chance, that one. There is opportunity. He had chance. Chances are there to go step forward, but he is after recognition. The other 3 might have continued to argue and not even notice his silence. So he wants to recognize himself. So some people are like this. So their motto is, I am doing something good, but no one is notices. They believe that the reward is not in the effort, but it is in the recognition. So recognition, reward, defending, all these are the hindrances in silence. And it is therefore in the light of the light on the path, it is said, listen to the song of life. And you will listen the song of life only when there is harmony within and harmony without. Harmony is the only law. Order is its expression, and love is its perfume that embraces all in one. With these things, I would like to end, because I don't know, at 11:30 I have to end. But with Kannada, something I would like to give when we speak about these ideals. I know all you people very, very, what I can say, studious, who are reflecting, who are really touching to the truth. I have been listening to you, your talks, and I will try to say something in Kannada also. So I will speak slowly. Hope you will understand my Kannada. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತಪಸ್ವಿಗಳು ಏಕಾಂಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಾಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. Of course, we are alone in the pandemic and lockdown. So ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತಪಸ್ವಿಗಳು ಏಕಾಂಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಾಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ಆದರೆ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಜನರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವುದರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲೂ ಇರುವ ಜನರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ. Therefore, ಅದರಿಂದ ನಿಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ ಭಾವನೆಯಿಂದ ಇತರರ ಹಿತವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬಯಸಬೇಕು, ಚಿಂತಿಸಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಯೋಜನೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಇವು ಭಗವಂತನು ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು. ನಮ್ಮ ಯೋಚನೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ಇವು ಭಗವಂತನು ನಮಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳು. ಆ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸದ್ವಿಯೋಗ, ಗುಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಗುಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ಪವರ್ಸ್. ಆ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸದ್ವಿನಿಯೋಗ ಮಾಡುವ ನಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ಆ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸೇವಾ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ವಿನಿಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Our religion is this responsibility. This is the ideal. Theosophy is the religion of responsibility. Our responsibility is to regenerate ourselves. Our responsibility is to become example. So what Buddha taught us is really ideals. ಮಾಂಸಾಹಾರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬಾರದು, ತ್ಯಜಿಸಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಧವಾದ ಲೈಂಗಿಕ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ನಡತೆಯನ್ನು ದೂರವಿರಬೇಕು. ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾದ ಜೀವಿತವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ವೈನ್, ಆಮ್ಲವನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುವ ಪಾನೀಯಗಳನ್ನು ತ್ಯಜಿಸಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ these toxicants very dangerous for our health. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕಳ್ಳತನದಿಂದ ದೂರವಿರಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಬಾರದು. So these are the things which we have to remember. We have to be truthful. If really you are believing in the motto of the Theosophical Society, no religion is higher than truth, we need to be the real seekers of the truth, and we need to be truthful. With these words, I again thanks to President Tippeswamy and also Parvatamma, and I am very affectionately connected with the Karnataka Federation. Always they show affection towards me. So all of you, very best wishes for the success of this conference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope I have not taken much time. Thank you.